morning, guys! It's an important day because I'm getting my COVID vaccination, my first dose. So I'm in London and I'm very, very lucky to be able to get my vaccination. I'll talk you through more on the other side and when I've had it and everything like that, but I just wanted to have a quick little check-in with you guys before I actually went and did the deed. So I'm back home and you'll have seen the photo, but I got my vaccine! I'm just so excited, and also like the whole procedure was so easy. I can only speak to my experience in the UK, in London. I was just so impressed with the whole thing. I went, I checked in, I gave my NHS number, they asked me classic questions, you know, have you had any symptoms, all that stuff. And then I went in, I sat on a chair that was socially distanced. There were only 2 other people in there, so 3 of us total. And I probably sat in that chair for maybe 3-4 minutes, went in, got my vaccine from a lovely lady. She was Canadian, so that was kind of fun. We had like a North American chat. I was like, oh yeah, I've got family in BC, and it was lovely. Did not feel the injection at all. Like, I didn't feel it. Normally, when I get the flu shot or when I've had other shots, I feel it because you know it's that muscular like shot. And I was kind of nervous about it. We give injections to ourselves all the time, so why should I be nervous about it? I think it's almost the concept of somebody else giving me an injection rather than myself doing it for myself, if that makes sense, because that's what I'm so used to. But anyways, so I got it in my left arm. You can see the Band-Aid there. And on a practical side of things, I'm gonna keep an eye on my blood sugar. I went in this morning, probably at around 106, I wanna say, is when I noted when I went into the room for the vaccine. And right now, I'm sitting at 91 straight arrow. That's been my last sort of 6 hours, so you can get an idea of what the blood sugar effects have been. Right there is the point at which I got my vaccine. So everything there beyond pretty much has been post-vaccine. Now, as we all know, even if I had high after the vaccine or a low, you can't attribute these things solely to the vaccine. Diabetes has so many intricacies to it. But on the whole, I am gonna document if I have any side effects, if I have any adverse sort of diabetic blood sugar battles. Oh, also, just in case you're curious, I got the AstraZeneca, which she told me was the Oxford like strain. And I'm scheduled to get my next dose. Well, I've not been scheduled yet, but I will get my next dose in around the 12-week mark, she said. So I will wait to be scheduled for that. And that's when I take that card to the next appointment. They fill it out and then I got my card. Hey guys, about 9:15 right now. And I just suddenly feel really, I got the chills, I got the body aches. It's all come on quite quickly. Blood sugars have been great, to be honest with you. Right now I'm sitting stable at 107. That is my past 12 hours. So I really haven't battled any blood sugar problems, no stubborn highs. I was sort of thinking I might, but we'll see, maybe tomorrow. Something interesting I thought I would mention is I was texting with some of my Diabuddies, and some of them had commented that the ones that got the AstraZeneca seemed to have more of a bodily response. It seemed to elicit more of a bodily response than I think, I want to say, the Moderna. Now, I take all of this with a pinch of salt because who knows, right? Like it's all word of mouth and passed down. Nothing is scientifically backed or anything like that. So I don't want that to concern you or kind of color your opinion of what you're getting. I just thought it'd be interesting to mention it here. Really, all in all, I feel fine. I feel totally fine. Just kind of that like flu-y body aches, chills reaction. I don't feel nauseous or throwing up or anything like that. Just want to kind of drive that point home. But I thought I would be honest with you guys and tell you where I'm at.
I just took my temperature, so 100.29. Feeling pretty rough, to be honest. I'm in bed, obviously, but I'm kind of not, I don't know, I'm not able to go to sleep. not worried, but just like a little bit feeling too ick to go to sleep almost. Also, I find it hilarious. My mom will appreciate this. I'm in bed with like several layers on and a hot water bottle because I'm very cold. And then I'm a cold person anyway, so this isn't completely abnormal. What is abnormal though is the going to sleep with the puffer vest on. My mom will appreciate that. We love a puffer vest. Okay, good night from me and my puffer vest.
So it's been about 3 days since that last clip that you'll have seen me with the vest and the fever and all that. Happy to say that I'm feeling much better, but I have to be honest, and I've struggled with how honest I should be, but honest is what I'm going to be, totally transparent, because there's no other point. That night was horrific for me. This is not, from what I understand, the norm of talking to other people, but that night was awful, awful. Easily and by far the most sick I've ever felt in my entire life. And I'm not trying to be dramatic when I say that. I fell asleep after I filmed that clip, and then about 2 hours later I woke up and I couldn't move. I was in so much pain and so weak, and my fever was still there. I don't think I ever got above 102. I think that's the highest I got, but I just couldn't move. And I remembered in my head thinking, paracetamol. People said take paracetamol, which was so silly of me that I didn't go to bed with paracetamol by my bedside, or perhaps even preemptively taken some, but I didn't. And so I'm making this video because maybe it will help other people to be more prepared and less crazy like me. Just getting up and getting out of bed for that paracetamol was an adventure. It was really hard, actually, and it was really scary. I can't stress enough that I don't think this was a normal reaction. From what I've spoken to with other people, they've had a bodily response, but not like that. And I've had personally a history of vaccines affecting me quite badly. So I kind of just want to put that caveat on all of this. But once I got that paracetamol, probably about 15 minutes after taking that, I felt so much better and so much more relaxed. Like I was actually able to relax my muscles and go to sleep. And before I did that, I checked ketones in my blood with my ketone blood sugar machine. I did have raised ketones, but not anything really scary. So I didn't take any action. Like obviously if I had had really raised ketones, I would have either gone to the emergency room or called 999 immediately, without question. But I had very, very moderately raised ketones, so I just decided, okay, I'm gonna set my alarm for an hour. From that moment, I fell asleep, set my alarm, checked my ketones. They had come down a little bit, so I repeated that same thing, except I checked it in 2-hour intervals after that. And by the morning, they were down in a normal range. That's kind of what the trajectory of that night was. I was in and out of sleep. I was very, very feverish, as in I was with it. I knew what was going on, but I definitely felt impaired by the fever. But once I took that paracetamol, I felt so much better. And I wish actually that I had taken it preemptively. I'm not one to like take painkillers and medications without really needing them. I try my best to do that, but I really, really regret not preemptively taking some of that, given what I went through when I hadn't taken it and sort of needing to claw my way back, and the sort of worry that gave me. The next day I was extremely tired, extremely tired. The following days up until this point, this is 3 days later, I feel I feel zonked. I feel very, very exhausted and run down. I suppose this is normal. Fatigue is supposed to be normal after these things, I guess. I've heard. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on that and keep taking it easy until I feel like I'm gaining more energy. My blood sugars have been high running. They definitely have been running higher and quite erratic, which something that I sort of expected to happen earlier hasn't happened until, like, I would say a day or two after I've started getting these erratic blood sugars. So I find that interesting, spiking around the 250s, 275s, and then making deep dives after taking what I thought was the appropriate amount of insulin, and a little bit of a roller coaster feeling, really. So that's where I've been at from a blood sugar perspective. Where I'm at from an energy perspective is extremely low, and where I'm at from like a pain perspective, I'm not taking any paracetamol at the moment. I don't need it. I don't have those body aches. I don't have a fever, and I don't have any ketones. But I am extremely tired. I can't drive that point home enough. I'll keep checking in with you guys because I certainly can't cap this video off here, but that's where I'm at right now, 3 days post-vaccine. Okay, so it has been about 2 weeks since my vaccine. So I am 2 weeks post-vaccine. The last time you guys will have seen me, I was 3 days post-vaccine, and I was in a very bad way, low energy way. And I just wanted to come on here and say, I'm doing so much better. So my experience of the last 2 weeks has just been kind of one of these. A steady incline in the right direction, for sure, but jagged nevertheless. Can't stress enough, I don't think this is the norm that people are experiencing with this vaccine. However, it's been my journey, and I will say, blood sugar wise, the last 2 weeks certainly have leveled out. They have not been as chaotic as I was those 3 days kind of post-vaccine. That very much leveled out, thank goodness, and also probably has contributed to my feeling more energetic. Bonus, plus. To be totally honest with you guys though, it has not really been smooth sailing, I wouldn't say. I have definitely struggled energy-wise and that kind of thing, but I would say I'm about 95% back to normal. Just get the odd kind of low energy, and I'm not actually sure I can attribute that solely to the vaccine. Maybe there's something else going on in my body, and, you know, lockdown. But all in all, feeling very good. It's been an upward trajectory. Blood sugars have leveled out, and I'm feeling pretty well back to normal. To close it out, I really can't thank the NHS enough. Gratitude goes out to those NHS workers that have been on the front lines throughout this whole thing and are now on the front lines delivering the vaccine. This is, I mean, gratitude doesn't even begin to cover it. My reaction to vaccines in the past has been extreme, and I think my reaction to this vaccine has been on the end of the bell-shaped curve, as in I don't think this is the norm of what people are experiencing and what is normal, right? Especially with type 1 diabetes. But I just thought it very, very important to me to document this for you guys, and probably the biggest takeaway, if anything, I would say, is take paracetamol when you get the vaccine. I feel very silly that I didn't have that to hand, and that made a big difference in terms of that very intense truncated period of time, about 12 hours after the vaccine, when things got really, really rough for me. So if anything in this video, if you hear that and you come prepared with that on your bedside, or you take some preemptively, which I wish I would have done, then I'm so glad I made this video. But all in all, just wanted to document my experience. I hope things are moving in the right direction wherever you are. And of course, I hope you all are safe and happy and healthy. I thank you guys as always and ever so much for watching. I wish you great blood sugars, straight CGM lines, all of that good stuff, and please access to the vaccine should you desire it, and may that give you more health and assurance and the ability to move forward in this world that we're currently living in. But most of all, I wish you a happy, healthy mind with it all. Say it at the end of my videos, and I mean it always. Also, I'll probably see you for dose 2. I'm gonna have to do a dose 2 roundup. So I'll see you in dose 2. All right, guys, have a wonderful day.